All right, so for this lesson, we're going to be covering the version of Won't Stop Now by Elevation Worship, but it's the Brandon Lake version. So the intro, I'm going to go ahead and play it here for you to hear it. It has these hits that you hear. Okay, so let's break that down. So basically what you have going on here is what's called syncopation. Anytime we have syncopation, you have to automatically, your mind should go to the and. So you have like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and most often when you're playing songs, like you'll hear with my acoustic, is you're going to be on the numbers, right? Not on the and. So it's going to be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of times we don't do the and naturally. So what you have to do is you have to first understand that the and subdivides to eighth notes. So you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you take away the numbers, the downbeat is what that's called, then you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then there's also they're doing notes that are a little bit longer. So you have the first beat, so it's 1 and 2, so 1, 2 and. So basically what they're doing is they have a dotted quarter note, and whenever you have a dotted note, you take half of the note value, in this case, which is a quarter note, and you add it to the length of the note. So if you have a quarter note, which is 2/8 notes, the length, like 1 and 2 and, those are quarter notes, 4 and, right? If we were to add a dot to it in music theory, then now we have 3/8 notes. So if you play anything after that dotted eighth note, you're going to be on the upbeat, on the and. So in this case, they go to an eighth note after that. So watch. So 1, 2, and. Just like that. So that's the first two hits. It's 1, 2, and then they go to a B minor. So 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. So that last note is on the 4. So 1, 2, and on the second fret, 3, then 4 on the D. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And now we're doing the same rhythm, but we're changing the chords. So it's going to be F sharp, E, and then D, our second fret, low E, open E string, and then you can hit the 5th fret on the A string, but I just do the big open D. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and then 4. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 2. Okay, so on my dry erase board here, here's what we have. You have 1, and I'm going to put an and right here, and. So like 1 and, just like that. 2 and, 2 and then you have 3 and then we're going to go ahead and finish it out, 4 and. So watch. So this first note on these hits, the first note is going to be, this is actually, if I were to give a little like tree here, this would be like 3/8 notes. Right, with the little flag, fill it in. Okay, so that's because we add that dot to it, it becomes 3/8 notes, and 1/8 note is like the and, or the downbeat. So you have 1 and. Okay, so a typical quarter note is just going to be these two notes right here. It's just going to be 1 and. So like 1, ba. So that'd be like da, 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 right? That's how typical quarter notes go. But what we're doing here, since we have the dot basically means you take half of a quarter note, which half would be 1/8 note right here. So we're going to take half of a quarter note and we're going to add it to the duration of this entire note. So you have each one of these is an eighth note. That's eighth, eighth, eighth. So we have 3/8 notes, the length from just this one note, and then we come in on the and, the upbeat of 2. So it goes like this. It's 1, 2, and, just like that. So in the intro we hear ba, ba, and then you come in on the fourth beat. So it's like ba, ba, ba. So that's how that part goes, okay? So we see on the second note that we're hitting, it is an eighth note, but it's just easier to see. Instead of doing a whole nother, dotted quarter like this, we're doing a tie right here, like a weird little smiley face here. So this is an eighth note, and then you simply connect it with a tie right here. And basically what that means is that you're adding the length of both of these to make this note that we're hitting here longer. So again, we have 3/8 notes, 3/8 notes, because remember, a quarter note subdivides down to 2/8 notes. So this is how these work. That's 1/8 note. So again, we have, this is just, it's the duration of 3/8 notes, and then we have a quarter note. So the whole thing is 1, 2, and 4, just like that, or ba, 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 2, 3, 4, right? That's how that goes. Okay, so the second part is going to start out with the same chords, E, B, and then D. But here's what's different. We're going to start with what's called an eighth rest. And basically what that means is that you're not going to play anything on the downbeat. You're going to come in on the upbeat. So here's what you're going to hear starting from the beginning is ba, 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 2, 3, 4, F sharp, E, D. Then the second time, ba, that comes in, it's 1 and. So you're coming in on the and. So that rest means you rest, there's silence, you're not playing anything right on the downbeat. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and, just like that. So that's how this goes, and that's what makes syncopation so challenging, because you have to know that you're coming in on the upbeat, and you have to know when to come in on the upbeat. So this part's 1A, B, D. So it moves really quickly, because if you look at this is the duration of a quarter note, but I did a tie so that you could see it comes in on the and then it's tied to another eighth note. And then the next one comes in on an and it's tied to a quarter note, and then the last one comes in right on the downbeat of 4. So this is where you're really going to have to slow it down and think 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and that's how it goes on the recording. It's like that's how that goes. And on the third beat, you're not actually playing anything. It's still carrying the duration of the B or the E. And as you'll notice, the very last time, it's back to normal. It's just the 1, and I wrote it a little bit different because this is typically how you're going to see it. It's the F sharp and 2 and 3, 4, just like that. So that's how the last one's going to end. Okay, so I'm going to record myself playing this to a click track, both slow and then sped up tempo. But before we do that, I want to just review and if you've watched it up to this point, what you need to realize is that you got to say and play and count this thing out loud. Now, if you can hear it and just pick it up, that's great. But really, you need to understand it internally. So what you need to recollect to your memory and memorize is this. It's going to be 1, 2, and 3, 4. And I'm accenting that because on those accents where I'm getting louder, that's where you need to recognize that's when I need to play. So it's going to be 1, 2, and 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then back to normal. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So again, that's going to be 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, all the way to 4. And then you do 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and rest. 2 and 3. Right, so that's rest and 2 and 3 and 4. So that one's a really tricky one, so I would maybe put that on a loop and just go 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Sometimes you can even say rest, and that'll help you to just go rest and 2 and 3, 4. That one's going to sneak up on you because whenever we go up to the full speed, that one feels different than the other ones because it's a closer gap between the two notes that you're playing. But then the last time is going to be 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then you just hold that out. So here it is with the metronome. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. And then let's go ahead and do that up to tempo. Let's see. It should be 122. One, two, 1, 2, ready, yeah. Alright, so I hope this helped you guys, and be sure to go hit like and subscribe on my channel, and you guys have a blessed day.